Nigeria. Of course, I've mentioned the former governor of Lagos State and our father, General Ikenwachukwu. Thank you very, very much. Distinguished members of Island Club, other invited guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Island Club, for this invitation. Like it's been said, I think it's very important that we have this kind of discussions. And like Professor Olumba said, if you are the movers and shakers, we must talk about things about our country. And I've listened to a lot of, it's good to talk when you've listened to a lot of thoughts. So we're talking about the independence of Nigeria, but we're here at a club which was established, like I said, October 29th, 1943. That's 17 years before independence. So we all know that somebody who is 65 years old certainly is not a little child. So like the Yorubas will say, Agbaki should be a way. So an elder must perform rituals like an elder, not like a youth. And as such, we are talking about the situation we find ourselves today. Are we getting it right? Are we playing our role as giant of Africa and the hope of the black world? What future do we have? In other words, considering the dreams of the founders of this club and its membership, eminent Nigerians who are leaders in their various field, it is fit and proper now to examine the question by reflecting on the question that you raised, Nigeria and the African reawakening, the giant that must not sleep. And this is the topic of our discussion today. I know you said it's a lecture, but I think it's a discussion, an intellectual exercise that should not be student-teacher affair, but a reflection about Nigeria and our collective being. So I think that Nigeria stands tall, Africa's most populous nation with over 220 million people, a demographic dividend that is fueling growth. Of this figure, I believe is 60% are believed to be young and in their productive age. And we've listened to our former foreign minister, General Ikenwachukwu, about the roles that our country has played. And we must be proud of it. In South Africa, I remember as a young student in secondary school, Oliver Baptist High School, Oyo, they took us out of our rooms. And we have people from South Africa as students. And they were living better than us, even from Zimbabwe. So we've done a lot of great things for Africa. And it is sad that we are now being treated somehow this way. But that's the African way. So let's put things in perspective. We've said that of 10 black people in the world, 4 will be Nigerian. So Nigeria is an important country. I have no doubt that we will make it. I'm optimistic. And I'm optimistic because of various things. Sir, Prof said that we must look at education. The reality today is that education is changing. In fact, as a matter of fact, I don't believe that the quality of education in Nigeria is going down. I don't. And I'm supporting that. What are we measuring? Sir, I studied engineering and Oba of Olowezia, who are in UI together. He did his mechanical engineering there. We have professors that we respect. They were around the world. And he was telling me some 6 years ago, you know, you give us, as professor, you give us projects as undergraduates every year. So every year he gives this project. When you apply a force to a ball and you increase that, how is it distributed? It's stress material. And he told me that he saw a young child who just was in his final year, and 3 weeks later, the young man said, I've finished my thesis. How can you finish your thesis? It's supposed to be a year. And the young man was teaching him about the modeling, because it's on ChatGPT. So the way we teach today must be different. We are not teaching people about inherent knowledge anymore. It's out there. It's a question of how do you get it? How do you use it as fast as possible? We noticed recently that professors in Yale were threatening to go on strike for the first time because of ChatGPT, because of Copilot from Microsoft. Because the reality is, the knowledge that is out there is more than what any undergraduate can study. So things must change. And that is the bottom line for us. So considering our position in this country, I don't believe, honestly, that we won't get it right. And I will give statistics and reasons why I believe that we make it. So considering the great talent and potential of our youths, the black man will occupy the well-deserved position at the top. We receive comfortably when decisions are being taken. Should we fail, though, God forbid, the black man may lose it forever. So Nigeria has all it takes to succeed. We are home to the largest number of millionaires in Africa. So we have money to reasonable extent in different pockets, a true reflection of economic vibrancy. Most of the prestigious hospitals in the Western world have Nigerian doctors leading most of the specialties of medicine. And that goes for many areas of human endeavors. But Governor Fashola, you will recall our visit to Singapore when we met Lee Kuan Yew. And everybody knows Lee Kuan Yew, the man. And they asked the question. So, sir, it might also not be that intelligent people that also believe that constitution is not the problem. Intelligent people. Lee Kuan Yew said, sir, you recall, he said that they came to Nigeria to beg for asking, how is Olusegun Obasanjo? With Olusegun Obasanjo, we said it's there. And he said that the mistake you made was when Nigeria got independence, you have three leaders. You either remain as a country or you go your separate ways. He said at independence, you cannot have three leaders. You can't have Awolowo. You can't have Tafawa Balewa. He said, no, you must have one leader. And that is where you missed it. And that is what we see today. That is what we see today. Today, sir, one of the big, you can't prosper. We've seen it. Let's go everywhere in the world. It's simple. But you really can't do things without us exercising everything in our country today. How is it that in the year of the Lord 2025, you will build a building without a permit? Are you stupid? In 2025. And then we don't talk. So those are the problems. In terms of money, the budget of Nigeria, federal government, is 54 trillion. And that's the biggest we've seen in a long time. The budget of the whole country, all the states together, all the local government, is about 100 trillion naira for 2025. The whole country, everything, federal government, state governments, local government, that is just $65 billion. The budget of the city of New York is $114 billion. Can I say that again? The budget of the city of New York, I'm not saying New York State, is $114 billion US dollars. What are we talking about? The population of New York City is 8 million. So the reality is also public commentary. We have too many experts. Too many experts on television talking about things they don't understand. And as such, the prognosis, therefore, and every discussion in our country is very toxic. That is the problem. Every discussion in our country is too toxic. We've had intelligent people, Nigerians. I used to work for Morgan Stanley. I was the only black man in the office. Only black man. As far back as 2003, we were in charge of $1.7 trillion a day flowing through our system. We are the only black man. But today we have people talking about finance they don't even know the subject matter. And that is the problem. Public commentary in our land. So how then do we say, oh, we cannot borrow? Why can't we borrow? Why can't we borrow? So how did they build New York City? Is it not municipal bond? What is the debt of the United States of America today? It's about $34 trillion. Go and check, it's on Google. So the issue is, what are we measuring as a people? And that is the bottom line. What are we measuring? So people say, think about it. Governor Fashion, you recall, during the time of Governor Tinubu, we wanted to expand the Okwebi Lake Bridge. And he came to ESCO. Whether, like you said, sir, he's a Democrat. And like you said, it's not that I'm supporting him. Because we overruled him as governor. Not once, not twice. The ESCO will... Other governors told us, are you people stupid? What are you doing? He came to council to say, let us go and fund this thing. It was $2 billion to expand it there. You know it's 2 lanes. To sort it to 4 lanes. Compensation, everything, $2 billion. We said, no, let's go and do PPP. We started looking for PPP. We've not found that PPP. If you want to do that bridge today, it's $39 billion. If we had borrowed, we would have done it and paid it off. When we did the first bond, 10 billion naira, people went to start shouting, oh, they've mortgaged the future of our... What are we talking about? So the challenge is shakers and movers that are not necessarily must talk. People that know the... So people in this room must talk about this country. So the problem is we cannot allow people that don't know to be the mouthpiece of our country. So for Lagos State, our Lagos, we optimizes entrepreneurial dynamism, a commercial heartbeat driving Africa's economic pulse. It is working towards becoming African model megacity, one that is safe and secure, functional and productive. It has the ambition of becoming a global economic and financial hub in which businesses thrive with high returns on investment. We are on the way to achieving this. We've just been named the second largest city economy in Africa with gross domestic product of $259 billion based on the purchasing power parity after Cairo in Egypt. So our GDP is contributing about 20% to Nigerian GDP and of course 25% of our country's non-oil GDP. So Lagos is important to our country. In other words, with these impressive figures from Lagos alone, there is no doubt that this giant will wake up soon if we keep at it. A country's strength, nor is it only its natural resources, definitely not in the number of friends it can call adversity. No, it is also about its people. What I'm saying, distinguished fathers, mothers, ladies and gentlemen, many of our compatriots have made their marks in their chosen field. We've listened to Professor Malumba mentioning Professor Wole Soyinka, who is Africa's Nobel Prize winner in literature. We've listened to Chinua Achebe, and so many. Nigerians